I share with you the anxiety that has been created as a result of the DeepSeek announcement which came from a lab in China. This lab, though, happened to be a hedge fund, and an announcement that they could make AI a lot cheaper than the U.S. could by a factor of some 10x cheaper. And I look at it and I say, how is this going to affect AI and the investment portfolio that I have? And right now it's destroying it. But what is the future and how should I react to it? And I come back to something that maybe you have seen, Jevons paradox. And basically, it says that it believes that the increased efficiency offered by DeepSeek will not decrease the demand for chips as much as accelerate demand due to Jevons paradox, which says that increased efficiency can actually lead to higher overall consumption of a resource. And again, I go back to something I talked about last week, and that it was the change that was brought about in our economy as a result of the building of our interstate highway system. And I reflected back this morning and said, shortly after we made that commitment, the Japanese Honda showed up, and it changed the auto industry entirely. Up until that time, the automobile that my father bought had a life expectancy of maybe 50,000 miles. But as a result of the introduction of the Honda by the Japanese, who used to, but no more than 15 years earlier, being our arch enemy who bombed Pearl Harbor and drove us into World War II, introduced us to a new, more efficient way to move up and down our highway system and changed our world. And as a result of that, did that destroy the oil industry, destroy the hospitality industry? No, it accelerated the growth, and I believe that's what DeepSeek is going to do. The more I dig into it, and what I did was create a deep dive into it, and you'll find it on my website, where it's about a 15-minute analysis of about 45 articles that I was able to find on not only DeepSeek, but Stargate, and how they might come together and how they might compete with each other and how the economy is going to be affected. And I go back to the words that I remember Warren Buffett and many of the finest investors said, when there's blood in the streets, that's when you invest. When there's fear taking over, that's when you buy. When there is euphoria, that's when you sell. So what I'm doing at this point is looking for those stocks that I have profits in that I can sell and move into companies like Vertiv that are down some 25% today, because all of a sudden what was believed was going to be a $500 billion expenditure in building new data centers, all of a sudden, as a result of this announcement from a lab in China, is no longer viable. That we aren't going to, for some reason, we aren't going to need those data centers. When I believe what this will do is just bring more people into the AI function, because there is not a $600 million barrier to get in. It can now be reached, according to DeepSeek, for $6 billion. That's a 10x decrease in the cost of entry. So what does that do? It creates more entrants. It creates more entrepreneurs who say, I can find a space in that. I can compete with Amazon. I can compete with AI, because I can find a niche that where I can form a place and change this world. I believe this is another pandemic that has hit the stock market. And the reaction is always with fear. And those who can look past the fear, clear their eyes and say, what does this really mean? It means opportunity. I'd like to share the document that I created, this briefing, and the podcast that I've created on how does DeepSeek and Stargate fit together, and what are the opportunities for investment accordingly. I just posted them on my website, Best of Us Investors. It's part of my gold platform. Right now, you can get access to it for free because I have a 14-day free trial that all the research that I have done on 61 stocks is summarized in the form of deep dives, and I'm adding, as earnings reports come out, these briefings, 3 to 5 page briefings on what is actually happening. So that you can achieve one thing. And this is the most important thing I think that you need to achieve to become a good investor. Know what you're buying. Know what they do. How what they do relates to what other people are doing. And where do they fit into the whole equation, into the whole semiconductor, data center, AI ecosystem? And are they going to benefit or be hurt by DeepSeek? I think I've got the answers for you. I invite you to come take a look. Take it for free, 14 days, and then you decide. Is there $19.95 worth of value there? If there is, I want you to have it. Let's explore this further together.